Hello, my name is Josh Toner. I'm from Basin Pacific Insurance, an insurance brokerage in town. We do everything from commercial insurance, home auto, toys, life insurance, and also benefits. Whether it's group benefits for an employer looking to give benefits to all of his employees, or individual benefits for yourself. And here I'm talking with Paul Casey from Growing Forward Services, and today we're talking goals. And myself, I've used Paul's services for over 3 years now, and then we also have 3 of our employees using his services as well. So today we're talking about goals and why are goals important, Paul?
Man, goals are really important because if you don't have a target to shoot at, I mean, you're just sort of drifting through life. And so goals give you that thing out in the future. If maybe you've got a vision for your life, or for your relationships, or for your business, or your role, and goals are those stepping stones to get you to that place. I would also say goals are important, especially during this COVID time, for motivation, because one day just sort of runs into the next, feels like Groundhog Day many times, and if you don't have a goal to shoot for, you might just procrastinate again.
Yep, I agree with that. Let's see, and what happens when we don't set goals for ourselves, our teams, or our organizations?
Well, I think we drift, and nobody wakes up in the morning going, yeah, I get to drift today, right? Yep. Drifting is only fun if you're, on a lazy river. But other than that, it is not great to just go one day to the next, not accomplishing anything. So goals give you sort of that measurable plumb line to say, am I actually getting things done? Am I winning? We all need to see if we're actually winning in life and in our roles.
Yep, I think a lot of times people are scared to set goals because they're scared they're going to miss them, but also missing the goals and making it measurable and noticing that you miss it helps move things forward. So
I think you're right. And in fact, I could say here that sometimes I have too many goals. And maybe you're going to ask this as well, but it's hard to know how many goals to make. Like, I'm a goals guy because this is what I do for a living, and I used to set buku goals, just dozens and dozens of them. And even though I would get many of them done, I wouldn't get all of them done.
Yep.
And then I'd feel like a failure, even though I got more done than maybe 3 times the people.
A lot of times when I'm adding goals to the mix, it seems like I add too much, and I put way too much on the schedule. And I also notice that the systems I'm setting can break me too. I got to look back on those and make sure the goals that I'm hitting are the important ones, not just crossing a bunch of stuff off the list. So
that's right.
What makes a good goal?
Well, you've probably heard the old SMART acrostic, right? Specific goal, it can't be vague. We can never hit a vague target. They have to be measurable, really need to know whether it's done or not. Attainable, because if we shoot too high, then like you said, we feel like a failure, but we didn't get them done. So I like to say, I think it's John Maxwell quote, we need to be outside of our comfort zone, but inside our delusional zone on that one. R, it's got to be, we have a relevant to our job description. And then T, it's got to be time dated. And really that's the one oftentimes that people don't put in a proper goal. That just, it's open-ended at that point. There was another acrostic that I heard, I think the guy's name was Mark Murphy, called HARD goals. H stands for heartfelt. That means you need to have some type of emotional connection to a goal to motivate you. The A,
not gonna do it.
Yeah, that's right. The A is you have to be able to. Now I've drawn a blank on the A. Oh, animated. Yes, sorry. Animated goal, which means you have to visualize yourself being able to do the goal, or else you get stuck because you don't know what the next step is. R is required, which is sort of like relevant, and D is difficult. So we should pick goals that are a stretch for us, an attainable stretch, right? But not something you can just cross off a to-do list tomorrow.
Yep. I think the next step of that too is when you have too many goals on is prioritize, and then the due dates can help a lot of people.
Ooh, yes.
Prioritize is a big one. That list is huge. Setting priority levels, so those can help a lot. So,
yes.
Let's see here. Do you think most people set too high of goals or too low of goals?
Well, there's probably maybe a few percent of us that set them too high, like we were talking about, and they're just ridiculous, and we feel like disappointed or a failure when we don't hit all of those. But I would say, Josh, the majority of people set them too low.
Yep.
They're just like, I'm going to set a goal that I'm pretty sure I'm going to achieve just by going through my regular work day, and then I'm going to feel like, yep, look, I did it, boss. I got my goals done. When instead it's like, can you imagine the potential that you have if you set it a little bit higher and then went after that hard thing? You would look back a year from now and go, wow, look all the things I got done by just pushing the envelope.
I think sometimes it seems like we're trying to move too many goals down the field at the same time too. If you look at a times table and say, I'm going to work on these 2 goals these next couple months. I really want to make these 2 goals important the next couple months. After that, you kind of space that out. It helps too. I find myself, you get this like exciting time where you're like, I want to get on my goals again. And when you sit down like New Year's, you end up setting 10 goals, right? Instead of setting like 10 goals throughout the year that you kind of hit at a timeline, you end up trying to move 10 balls down the field right at New Year's, right when everyone else is trying to move the ball. And it's a lot harder game to play, I think.
I'm glad you brought up New Year's because we all tease about New Year's resolutions, which are just like wishes, right? They're not goals because they don't fit the SMART criteria. But you also bring up another interesting point of you can't do all these things at once. Yep. So you can either stagger them or prioritize them, which I like to say. Steps. Yeah. And then sometimes you just light the burner hotter on a few of them, especially as a team. Like we're going to go after these 3 customer service initiatives now. Not all of them, but just 3 of them. And we're going to see if we can move the ball forward.
Yep, I like that a lot. So what else?
Well, there's ways to increase odds of getting your goals done, right? Yep. So one of those is to post them. A lot of us journal our goals or put them in a computer, or you're a whiz at all of these productivity apps, Josh. Follow up with this guy. He's got he could give you like a paragraph on every productivity app out there. So
let me know if you got questions on that.
This is good. But you got to post them because if you did all that work on them and then you stuck it in a binder on a shelf, or it was behind another screen and you never look at them, what are the odds of you getting those done? But if they're in your face, probably you're going to be able to do that. So that's one of the ways to getting your goals done. Another one is to have some accountability, right? Whether you have a coach who's going to ask you the question or a success partner, it could literally be your partner, or it could be an assistant, could be your boss, or colleagues where you do a stand-up meeting in the morning and say, what's on your plate today, Josh? It's bang, bang, bang. These 3 are my priorities. What's yours? And then off you go.
You call each other out.
And later in the day, it's like, how you doing on your priorities?
So
you're like,
going?
Shoot, I got to get going on those.
Remember those priorities? Where are those at? I like that. Anything else for better success at goal achievement?
Man, I think you have to reward yourself when you get goals done. And I'm not saying it's always a pint of ice cream, because that may be counteractive to another one of your goals, one of your health goals. But just little rewards throughout the day. I don't know how you reward yourself, Josh.
I can get stuck on if I don't do it perfect, if the goal's not done exactly correct. And I've learned, like one of my habits is I'm trying to work on running right now. And I want to be the guy that gets up early and goes in my closet and picks out my workout gear. And I'm not. I'm the guy that has to put the workout gear in front of my bed so when I stand up, I step on it, right? And that it doesn't seem perfect to me because I don't have the habit down. It's not. And so hacking it first and then growing to make it better, and even being happy that you were the guy that got out of the house, not necessarily ran the 3 miles without stopping, or but being happy with the little win too.
I love that because you're setting yourself up to get those 3 goals. I like the number 3. I think our brain can only hold 3 things, readily at a time, and then we start forgetting when we add that 4th thing on. So you're putting your running clothes out. If you're at work, you put the 3 files out on your desk that you want to work on and nothing else. Or you make sure that person's going to come to your door for jogging, so you've got your jogging buddy, because you're never going to stand that person up for that.
Yep. Let's see. How do time management and goals go hand in hand?
Well, you were starting on this one already, because once you have these goals, again, it's like, woohoo, you got goals, but now what's the rubber hit the road?
Yep.
So you've got to put those goals, actions toward those goals, into your calendar. You literally have to make appointments with yourself and block time. One author calls it F-bots, not F-bombs, but F-bots, focused blocks of time, and put those in your calendar and stick your next action item into your calendar, and then obey your calendar, which is the hard part. You've got to obey your calendar, so when 9 o'clock pops up and it says start performance review for Jeremy, you've got to stop what you're doing and write the performance review for Jeremy.
I like that a lot. I think one thing is when I started goal setting with you was working on my monthly goals. But I think when you look at your day, it's a set of, whether it's 8-hour workday, it's 8 hours of time blocking. It's a smaller version of your month, and a lot of times people just list of things that they have to do in that day, but they don't have times to those either. So how do you know that this list that you have is going to amount to the time you set? And so if you think about where they fit into the day and how much time they're going to take throughout your day, you can kind of see if it's going to fit off the bat, if it's going to fit in your day. And it's helped me a ton.
Yeah, and you have to overestimate really how much time you think.
Sure.
It always takes longer, right?
Yeah.
So overestimate if you're going to write that performance review, and it usually takes you an hour of just put 90 minutes in your calendar. If you get it done early, you just found extra time, right? You could take a break or chit chat or reward yourself for that, but don't put a less amount because then you get frustrated. Now you're behind. And it starts this steamroll of catch up for the rest of the day, which, as you know, is very discouraging.
Next level of that is if you don't think there's enough time for it, put priority levels next to everything, a low, medium, high. It can kind of help categorize everything and whether or not you end up getting everything done. If you get the top 3 priority levels done, you're in good shape.
Yeah, and Josh, something that you practice is the daily review, the weekly review, the monthly review. You had alluded to the monthly review. The daily review is when you just see, like, did I get my big 3 done today? Tomorrow, what are my big 3 priorities I need to get done? Then I can shut my lights off today, whether you're teleworking at home or in the office, and go, now it's family time. Now it's my wellness time.
Yep.
Tomorrow, I already know what it's on my plate, and I'm going to hit it first thing in the morning.
I heard a guy call it next day mapping the other day, and I like that.
Yeah.
Next day mapping. Kind of get an idea, your priorities. If I only got 3 things done in the next day, what would that look like? So I've enjoyed that. My morning writing every day has also helped me. And then I always have a Sunday morning prep for my week, so I usually come into the office for a couple hours and prep my week out. One of the things I notice, if I don't do the prep on Sunday, then my Monday is spent prepping, and then I have Tuesday through Friday for my week now. So if I prep on Sunday, I have the 5 days when I come into work. So I've enjoyed that. It's worked for me.
Yeah, I have another client that does the Sunday. I mean, you may want to do it Fridays.
Yep.
You may want to do it if you're a Monday through Thursday kind of person. Thursday night, that's the last thing you do. But you just sort of look ahead at the next week. What are your big rocks or big priorities sprinkled out? Maybe you've double booked yourself. You still have time to get out of one of those commitments. Or say, that day is ridiculous. There's no way I'm going to get that much
Hard
stuff
to back
done.
out on the day of.
Yeah, and you could just move that in Outlook, right? Or in your Google Calendar to a different day to make it more manageable.
Yeah, people will be a lot more happier with you if you change the meeting 3 days before than the day before, the day of. So
you got it.
So thanks, Paul. I appreciate you meeting with me today. Thanks for helping us have a more productive 2020. It's been a crazy one so far. So I've enjoyed meeting with you, and obviously we're going to be meeting together monthly for who knows how long. So I've enjoyed that. I appreciate you meeting with me today.
Josh, it has been great. So look up Basin Pacific. What's the contact information for you?
So I am J.R. Toner at Basin Pacific Insurance. And then our phone number is 509-735-7506. And how about you, Paul? How can people get a hold of you?
And I am paulcasey.org, or you can email me at growingforward@paulcasey.org. And Basin's on social media. I'm on social media as well. Feel free to subscribe to the YouTube channel. There's about 100 videos, just little short ones to help you grow forward. Thanks again, Josh.
Thank you, Paul. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.